Good morning, guys. Oh, hang on. Turn off my mic, my speaker. There you go. Get this sound effect going. Good morning, guys. Welcome to this September 2nd, Tuesday. We had the Labor Day yesterday, and it's a little happy day there. Nothing much happened. Today, though, we're getting a fair amount of weakness right from the get-go. Things are just kind of coming apart in front of us. We'll see. I mean, it's a bunch of speculation on various things, but it's September, beginning of a new month, September, and I think people are maybe a little bit on the take some profit and kind of sit out September, maybe. We'll find out, but it's definitely starting off the month with a bunch of weakness here. And we closed out August. We had going into the very end there. That's the last day. We had a little bit of profit taking going on. We had a little balance day. Yesterday, not much happening, and then now right back down again. So this feels very much like profit taking um, or concerns going into September. Now, what they are, I mean, I saw headlines about deficit reductions. We saw this meeting between India, Russia, and China, and some stuff coming out of there. It's a fair amount of stuff going on. We had the tariff ruling last Friday. A bunch of stuff going on. So cross currents, but usually for August, September is pretty volatile, and you have seasonal weakness happening in those months. So I think that's probably the bigger part of this, just the seasonal weakness component of it. And you can find all sorts of reason to be concerned and kind of take some money off the table. We'll see. We'll find out if something emerges throughout the day as something more obvious driving this. But I would start off on the short side. It seems very much like we're going to get a profit taking day or a weekday. So far, we're heading lower at a pretty good clip. So that would start off on the short side of the market. But before I dig further into that, let me just touch on the news first. Well, I just remembered that. Hang on a sec, guys. So today, nothing at 8:30 in terms of news. We have 9:45, we get PMI manufacturing. 10 o'clock, we get ISM manufacturing and construction spending. So PMI manufacturing at 9:45, ISM manufacturing at 10, and construction spending at 10. So that's it for the news for today. So 9:45 and 10. Tomorrow we have nothing at 8:30. We got factory orders at 10, job openings. We got a fair amount on Thursday, ADP report leading up to our Friday employment situation. Then we have international trade, jobless claims, productivity, PMI composite at 9:45 on Thursday, SM services at 10. There's a fair amount of news on Thursday. And then on Friday, of course, the employment situation. Yep, that's the employment situation on Friday. So that's what we got going there. So a fair amount of news coming out this week, the first week of September, last month in this quarter. And we're starting off with a bit of weakness. So I'm going to fold this together. This looks to me like a small move out of the middle on this prior distribution to the downside, and I would trade it as such. So starting off on the short side of the market, looking to sell strength for rotations back down. Let's see here if they can clear 64.40s. If they can get up above that 40s and 50s, these two resistance areas, I would consider I would take off the short bias and go back range bound, but I doubt we're going to see much of that. We may see a run up here to retest the reverse retest 40 and 50, but I doubt we're going to take those out to start trading above it again. Yes, it just feels like beginning of the month profit taken or whatever is driving the negative sentiment is probably going to be sticking with us throughout the rest of the day. So very small, very tiny optimism about the market turning into a rally today. But if it does, I would be just eating my words and smiling about it. But so far, I'm going to start from the short side. Looking to sell strength. At this point, they just took out the 64.20, so that's now a potential short opportunity. 64.30s, 64.40s, 64.50s for rotations back down again. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I think the better shorts may come here at the 40s and 50s if they get that far back up again. But I would still stay on the short side until they take out that 50, starts trading above it. At that point, I'll take off my short bias and go back range bound. So that's how we get started on the ES. Short side of the market. Looks to me like we have a move out of the middle to the downside beginning. And so we're not going to be very aggressive stepping in front of this one. Try to trade it from the short side of the market. It doesn't mean that you can get some violent rallies right back to the mean here. It's 45. Remember, 40 and 50 is right where the mean is at right now. So they can certainly run back up, bounce off the mean, and start heading lower. But I would stay on the short side until some real focus here or some real price action about that 64.50 level. That's going to be the change of direction point for myself. So that's the ES to get started. Looking at the bonds and the NASDAQ, the bond market. That's not the one. That's my F1. So I'm looking for the bond market. Where are you? There you are. All right, so bond market heading lower. If I go look at the capital flow on the bonds, it's not doing much. So still very much in this range. So they've been going back and forth in this range for a while now, and we're going to stay on this side. Interesting to see what the bond market does now in response to if they have a big sell-off, if it's going to be as flat or if they're going to be some changes in that. But the price is going down like this means yields are coming up, and that's the wrong direction. We don't want yields to go higher. So looking at if you have big savings accounts and get good returns on it, yeah, you don't mind yields going higher a little bit, but it's kind of right now we want I think most people want the mortgage rates to kind of come down. So they want the prices to come up a bit, yields to come down. Right now we're seeing a little bit of the reverse of that, but unless they start taking out these 1120s, these lower edges, I'm not going to worry about the short side. They can certainly they've been not doing much on the bond market, but they can run up here, test the 115s, run down, test the 111s without really leaving this big value area. So starting off with a slight bias to the downside on the bonds, looking to sell strength 1316s and 1324s. If they trade up above 24s, I'm taking off that short bias. Yeah, it's going range bound. And let's see how they can take it on the downside. Still looking to buy. Again, supported. I think they took out the 10s right now. So we have the 113s, 1228 to 30s, 1222s here below us to look for buying opportunities. Let's be mindful. I mean, we haven't been there for a while. So just look, see if those are still valid, those areas. But when you get there, look for potential buying opportunities. So that's the bonds. Looking to still looking to drift lower. NASDAQ looks like it's going to be the one getting creamed. And they had a pretty good sell-off there going into the last trading day of August. They backed off a bit. And so far, it looks to me like it's pretty much the same thing here. We have a small move out of the middle half coming out of this distribution. Now we have this whole tail included in that, so we haven't quite cleared that tail, start heading low below it, but you can see where the bigger volume distribution is. So I'm going to start treating this as a small move out of the middle and see if they can get some traction. If they start taking out this low here at the 23,000s, yeah, then we are definitely in a correction of some sort. But right now you can see they just took out that 23,220s and yeah, heading lower. So stay on the short side on the NASDAQ to get started. Looking to sell strength. If they at this point against the 220s, the 270s, 320s up to that the 370s for rotations back down. And that's kind of where we are on the, if they starts trading above, let me see, if they starts trading above this big ledge at the 360, 370, so that's going to be this ledge right there, the 370. So if that ledge comes out, I'll take off my short bias and go back range bound. Then we're back up here again. I doubt that's going to, I don't see in the cards for today. Starting off like this on a Monday, I'm not sure we're going to see a magic rally appear. I think it's going to be more on the weak side of things. So looking to sell against strength all the way up here to that 350 to 370. It's kind of where the mean is at right now. And if they clear that one, start trading above it, yeah, we'll take off the short bias, go back range bound at that point. So, but 370 is that level to watch. All right, so staying on the short side on both the ES and Nasdaq to get started. Looks to me like we got a day of weakness ahead of us. Finally, oil and gold. Now this was interesting. Oil. Let's touch on oil first. And I would not that this one is not so interesting. It's just creeping higher, and I'm just curious to see how that's going to be impacted by this Russia-China pipeline they announced. Build a pipeline from between Russia and China, and then India is pitching in. So those three countries are just pile on close together. That's going to be a potential issue. They ally themselves too closely with each other. But it's what it is, and we'll see how that impacts oil prices. Right now, it's to the upside. We have taken out this edge at the 64.90s. And if I fold this together, I would call this a small move out of the middle to the upside. So I would stay on the long side on oil right now, see how far they can take it. Looking to buy against the 65.60s, 65s down to that 64.80s for rotations back up, and then let's see how far they can take it. But right now, it looks to me like we may have a move out of the middle on oil to the upside. So not going to be super aggressive on the shorts, at least looking for continuation to the upside to get started today. So that's oil. Now the interesting part, so not much more to say about oil, but the interesting part was gold. I was watching this yesterday, and in a short baby day, it was popping pretty freaking hard. You can see how this whole thing has absolutely creamed the 3500s, went up to 3550s. Now in the overnight, even higher and holding on. So it could be a day where if the gold popping like that, definitely signals that something is up. Usually, then when gold pops like that, nothing good is happening. And I mean, I can see the day be a pretty good retracement and taking out this area, but it happened pretty violently with pretty light volume. So gold could have a nice retracement trade setting up, and down here to reverse retest that 35, 15, 16s. But the fact that they cleared 3500 and they're holding pretty well at it, they didn't quite make 36, but they're holding the levels. So I can see if they, I would look to start buying against the 3550s, the 43, sorry, 3550s, the 44s, and the 30, 38, 37, 38s for rotations back up. If they back off below that 36, 37s, I would be looking for that retracement trade to see if they can take out this whole area to the downside. And the reverse retest 35, 15s, maybe even down to 35.06. So that could be a nice short trade if they take out that 36, 37. Initially, however, I'm looking to buy against these support areas, assuming it's going to hold and they may trade higher. So, and if they can't take out that 35 or 37, 38s, we're going to be range bound, or we're going to be leaning towards the long side, and we may just go back range bound later in the day if they can't keep extending. But so gold is all over the place, but to the upside in a big way, and it's pretty volatile. So you when you trade that with a bit of caution. You can see here right now, this big bar right there, 57 down to 50, it's like $70. So these are huge bars. There's a massive volume going into oil right now. Oh, sorry, gold right now. But the fact that they pop like that definitely signal that I would not be I would not be surprised with um, gold holding on like this. Or so I was not surprised that the market was down with gold pumping like this on Monday, especially when they held on in the overnight. So it wasn't really a big surprise that something was going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, Mihail, it's a stubborn bug. It's slowly going away, but it's just this, it just kind of hangs with you. So it's pretty much gone. I spent a couple of days on the water as well, maybe got me a little bit. Anyway, so I would stand alongside of gold, trade below that 37, 38. I would be taking off the long bias, looking for that retracement trade. And then back, and we'll see what happens from there. So that's oil, that's gold. And just for the housekeeping thing on, I'm going to be out on Friday again. So as we last Friday, I'll take off for a while, I guess, but it's another tournament. I'm going to be out there chasing Marlin Friday, Saturday. and maybe Sunday as well. We'll see. But that's going to be so Friday is going to be gone. So and that's also employment situation. But as usual, I got the internet on that boat, and then I'm going to bring my laptop and be connected. It's just like try to merge the best part of life, fishing and trading, right? If I can succeed in doing that. All right, guys. So back to the ES, and let's see how weak this day is going to get. But it's at this point we are. We look pretty freaking weak. All right, guys. So I'll see you guys back at 11:30 for the next update. Good trading, and we'll see. No fishing at no fishing no. I'm gonna go fishing and trading, my Mihail. That's what I'm gonna do. So fishing and trading. See if I can pull it off. But I think I can. As that's not gonna be by my office phone, but. Well, yeah, so I tell you, you have Starlink that works pretty freaking good, and you have high-speed access pretty much wherever you're at, so it's pretty good. Anyway, guys, I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update later.